So before I get started, I always like to ask questions. Do they already know exactly why I'm here?
So they know you represent Hardin County Drug Court. And we just now started talking about the criminal trial types of courses and things like that, very little.
Okay.
And I'll also share that you share your own.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And so I guess for me, my question is this. What do you guys know about the criminal justice system? Personally, or maybe things you've heard. Anybody? I'm a bully too. Sometimes I pick on people. So if you make eye contact with me, I'm going to pick on you. All right? So,
Keep us safe.
keep you safe. Do you believe that? A little bit? In a realm? Sometimes?
Parts of it.
Right. So what about you? What do you know?
That it's trying to keep us as safe as possible.
Safe as possible. Right. At whose discretion, though? Who makes the judgment calls? The cops? The people who are in authority? All right, how many of you guys have had personal experience running with a cop? I'm not saying you went to jail, I'm just saying you've had an experience with a cop, right? Huh? Like, yeah, ticket, maybe pulled over, maybe, you know, they just came to talk to you, right? And so a lot of us have had some type of experience. And most of the time, the experience we have with cops are not pleasant. They're usually telling us what to do, telling us to stop doing something where they're making us pay for something. And so a lot of people's experience with cops are not good. My experience with cops most of my life has not been good. And I want to let you guys know I'm not a cop, right? So I may work for the courts today, but I am not a cop. I am technically wearing a wire, but I'm not wearing a wire to like get nobody in trouble, right? And so the court systems, what I do today is I try to help people rather than sending them to prison. I try to help them get the treatment, the help that they actually need, rather than just sending people to jail, which is a lot of times what they have done. They just send people to jail. You get out of jail, and what's changed? Absolutely nothing. Why are you going to jail in the first place? I don't know. A lot of times it seems like we don't care. As a civilization, as mankind, we don't care. There's a problem, get them out of society, put them in a box, and hopefully that will fix the problem. Well, the problem with it is nothing was really being solved. There's usually something else going on. 9 times out of 10, there's an underlying issue with what is going on with the individual that is making them break the law. If that was not the case, they'd break the law probably one time, say, hey man, that sucks. That consequence that happened sucked. I'm not going to do this anymore. Well, 9 times out of 10, that's not the case because they continue to be a repeat offender. The recidivism rate for jails and prisons are so high that 9 times out of 10, once you enter the criminal justice system, it's a revolving door for the individual. And a lot of you may have experience with a brother, a mom, a dad, an aunt, uncle who have been in the justice system. And you have seen it be a revolving door. They don't just get in trouble once. They don't just get in trouble twice. It's constantly in and out, in and out, in and out, right? And so what I do, part of my job is people who have substance abuse issues, we try to get them actual treatment. So the question really is why do people want to get high? And people say because it's fun. And I'm not saying it's not fun, because I got high for a long time. Getting high, you know, in the beginning, it is a lot of fun. You know, why would you not get high? If you don't have any consequences, it's like, why not get drunk? Why not get high? It's fun. But the problem is when I continue to get high more and more often, and I'm doing it at a rate that is dangerous, and I'm doing it in a manner that I don't care about the consequences. I'm doing it out in public. I'm doing criminal behaviors because I have spent so much time and money and energy on drugs that now I'm broke. Now I've lost my job. Now I don't have resources to get the drugs. But I'm a criminal, and so I'm going to find a way to get my drugs. Why? Because this is the things that are making me feel good. You see, and so then it goes back to even further than that. Why don't I feel good? What's wrong with you as an individual that getting drunk, getting high is the only way or the best way that you think is good to feel good? And so the hard part is, yes, I have seen him before. The hard part really is getting to that underlying trauma. And so this is what my job as drug court, this is a lot of things that we do. And I'm going to get a lot more into my personal story here in a minute. But drug court, what we do is we actually take people who are in the criminal justice system, and rather than continuing the same cycle, the same vicious road trajectory, We try to jump in the middle and stop them from continuing down the same path that they've been going. Jails, institutions, and death. That's what we call it. And so rather than saying, hey, quit doing this, we're going to say, here, we're going to give you the tools, and we're going to walk hand in hand with you to help you understand and identify what is really going on with you. A lot of people have a lot of mental health. A lot of people have some type of trauma, some childhood trauma. I would guarantee every person in here has some type of trauma that is left undiagnosed, that is left undealt with. Why? Because we just don't talk about it. We live in a society where you get over it. You don't identify it. You really don't talk about it. You really don't acknowledge it. You just get over it. Whatever it is that's bothering you, get over it. Because if I identify it to the wrong people, because I've done these types of things in the past, they exploit it. And then if you start exploiting it, you're taking advantage of me. You take advantage of me, now you know my weakness. You know my weakness, you can hurt me. I'm already hurt. I may not identify, and I might not tell people that I'm hurt, but I'm hurting. And the more that I allow people in, the wrong people, the more they hurt me. And there it goes, it builds on more trauma, more trauma. So I get drunker, I get higher, more often, and I'm doing more amounts, and instead of just snorting it, now I'm shooting it up. Now I'm using the IV. And now I'm doing, rather than just doing heroin, now I'm looking out for fentanyl. And I'm constantly trying to up because I need more. I need more to feel better. It's like, for me, the best way for me to try to explain it is it's like playing a video game. And the very first time you played a video game, you don't quite understand it. It's not as fun. But the more you start to understand the controls, the more people you understand who are playing this game, the more fun you have. Why? Because of the surroundings. And the same thing for me is like with the drugs. The more that I do, the better that it makes me feel. But here's the trap, is eventually the same amount that I was doing is no longer doing the same effects. I have to do more. Until I do it so much, so often, to where if I don't do that amount, I'm going to start feeling sick. And so the criminal justice system, it seems like a broken record because 9 times out of 10 we're locking people up for drug charges, for petty marijuana charges, for having drugs. Rather than getting the treatment they need, we send them to jail. And so as soon as they get out of jail, they go right back to the drug world, and they keep doing the same thing over and over, but they're getting a worse and worse problem. And so now they have created this monster that only treatment will solve, but rather than helping them, we continue to lock them up. At least we used to. Now we're trying to help them identify. Now we're trying to help them see what's really going on. My job, more or less, is to get people out of prison, out of jail, get them to treatment. That is my overall goal. It's not only just to get them into treatment and get away from prison, but show them how to learn to deal with life like a quote-unquote normal, responsible person through therapy, through community involvement, through being a productive member of society, going to work, paying your bills. Just what we think as normal lives, a lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to be normal. The one thing that was normal was waking up, getting high, robbing, doing whatever I needed to do to make sure I got another fix. That was it. And so a lot of times we're creating our own problems. We're creating our own problems. And then when you really get into the drugs, it takes you farther than you ever thought. You guys ever had something in your mind that you said you'd never do? You know, because I'm better than that. I'll never do this because my mom taught me this, right? I remember growing up when I was younger, my mom always told me drinks and drugs are bad. You guys have heard that story before? Your moms ever tell you, don't do drugs, don't drink, you know, because it'll kill you or ruin your life. But then you know certain people who smoke and drink and their lives don't seem ruined. And so then it kind of becomes confusing. Well, I remember my mom told me that stuff all the time. And I remember my dad was a drinker. He was a hardcore alcoholic. He was in the military, and every night he'd come home, he'd drink, and he'd get drunk. And to me, my mom would tell me it ruined my life, but here is my dad who's doing it all the time, and so it didn't make sense. Because my dad's life did not seem ruined. My dad's life seemed pretty productive. We didn't have a good relationship, but he provided for the family. And so I remember when I was 12 years old, any of you guys military parents? You? Only you? You? You guys move around a lot? No? No? Your pop's retired? Retired? Okay. So my dad, we moved around every 3 years. We lived in Germany. In Germany, you can legally drink at the age 16, right? And so you can literally go off into a gas station at 16 years old and buy beer, wine coolers, all that stuff. And so the flip side to that is when you're an American, you have a military ID card. So when you go off into the German economy, they see any type of identification and they think you're at least 16. So if all you're trying to do is buy the lower level of alcohol, they don't care. So I remember at 12 years old, I'm a new kid, just moved to Germany, I wanted to fit in, right? We all like to be liked, we all like to fit in. I don't care what you say, like, no, I don't care, nobody likes me, it's bullcrap. Everyone wants to fit in somewhere in some form or fashion. And so I wanted to fit in, and the kids that I wanted to fit in with, they said they were going to drink. Well, you guys ever lied about something? You ever said like, yeah, I do that, and knowing dang well you've never done it in your life? I like I said, we've all done that. And so they're all talking about getting drunk, and I'm like, yeah, I get drunk all the time, you know, and so we sneak off onto the German economy and they buy some beers. Well, I didn't think they were going to be able to buy it. You know, they were talking about it, but I did not think it was going to happen. Long story short, they end up buying it and they start popping the bottles, passing them around. I'm like, oh my God. And in this moment, right, I have a low self-esteem. I have insecurities, right? Growing up, I always thought I was a fat kid. People used to make fun of me. People called me names, right? I hated who I was. But if I had friends, I felt good about myself. Some of y'all can understand what this feels like. And so I had a low self-esteem. And so when I had friends around who liked me, it made me feel better about myself. If I didn't have friends, I felt lower about myself. And so in this moment, I need friends. I want friends. I want to be accepted by somebody. And so here's the friends that I have chosen, and they're drinking. Well, you've seen a devil and angel pop up in cartoons. This is what's going on in my life right now. I have a little angel pop up, which is my mom's voice saying, Drew, don't do it. You're going to ruin your life. You're going to be like your father. And I have a little devil over here pop up, which are my friends. Come on, don't be a sissy. You better do it. Right? And so in my mind, this is like a split second. I'm like, I got to do it. I got to drink because I want to fit in. So what do? I start drinking. Here's the thing. Nothing bad happened. Didn't get caught. Didn't get in trouble. I had the time of my life. Had fun. I felt cool. I felt like my friends accepted me. And I felt like, man, this is so much better than my mom ever told me. She's a liar. And so that just snowball effect. One thing led to another. I get a little bit older, I start smoking weed. Well, everyone smokes weed nowadays, so alcohol and marijuana is not really that big of a deal. They sell Delta 8 all over the place. They sell Kratom. They sell all these synthetic drugs that you can literally go into gas stations and buy. So it can't be that bad, right? So why not try it? And it makes me feel good. Why would I not want to try some of these things? Well, you see, the older I got, the more stuff that I started to do. It started off with alcohol. Then it went to marijuana. And then in my senior year, I was in weightlifting. I got hurt in weightlifting class. And I had surgery on my knee. I had a torn meniscus and an MCL. And so they gave me 90 Percocets with one refill. I'm not even an 18-year-old yet. I'm 17 years old, senior in high school. And they gave me Percocets. Percocets, I know, are drugs, but it's from a doctor, so it's got to be okay. And so what do? I start taking the Percocets for the pain. Well, one day my friends tell me, like, hey, do you have any extra? I'm like, well, yeah, for what? They're like, we want some. It's going to get you high. I'm like, all right, you know, I didn't think anything of it, so I gave it some. And then they influenced me to do some. So then I start popping these Percocets more than what I actually need. And what does it do? It gets me high. It makes me feel even better than the marijuana and even better than the alcohol. So why not? They got to be safe. The doctor's prescribing to me. So I start doing that. Well, now, not only do I start doing that, my friends start knowing, and they're starting to willing to buy it from me. So now I'm getting even more popularity. People who I don't even know who I am. Why? Because they want what I have. And man, that gets you even higher too. Feeling like everyone knows who you are, feeling like you're the big shot. Woo! Man, I loved it. It's getting high on life. Getting high on the pills, getting high on life, and now all of a sudden I meet a woman, and that woman loves the pills. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. It's just pills that aren't prescribed to me. Well, see, she doesn't do it like I do it. She snorts them. Why? Because she says it gets you higher quicker. And I'm like, okay. I don't want to do that because I don't want to be a junkie. Junkies snort and junkie uses needles. But here is a woman that I'm starting to really get fond of and I'm starting to think I love, and she's snorting. But she's not a junkie to me. Well, she ends up convincing me to try it this way. And so what do? Because she's not a junkie. And so maybe my perception is wrong. And so I start doing the same thing. And then I say, well, at least I'm not shooting it up because I'm not that bad. And you see, my whole life, I always compared myself to the person who was worse than me. I always thought, as long as I'm not that bad, I'll be able to stop. I'm not eating out of garbage cans. I'm not homeless. It's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. And so it constantly progresses. Well, then I run out, right? My prescription runs out. So what do I start doing? I start buying them. Well, that's illegal, right? You got to know a drug dealer. Well, I know a drug dealer because I buy weed from them. Well, now I'm asking for other stuff. And now my girlfriend, she's also asking about other stuff. And so it's just a snowball effect. Here's my question to you. You guys ever seen a homeless person? Right? We've all seen a homeless person, I'd like to think. You ever think that homeless person was freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in high school? It's like, man, buddy, woo, when I grow up, I'm going to be the best homeless person out here. I'm going to panhandle the heck out of some change. I'm going to be him. No. They all have that same thought process that a lot of you guys in here who I know are drinking, who I know are smoking weed, who I know are out here trying different things. Why? Because I'll stop if it ever gets bad. I'm not stupid. It won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. I'm smarter than this. I've been doing this. My mom does this. I get high with my mom. I get all my stuff from my dad. My uncle, man, he is the plug. I know where to get this crap from. And so it's good. And so I am safe. It won't happen to me. I'm telling you, ask almost anybody who's in jail and prison. They all thought the very same, similar thought process. I'll stop before it gets that bad or it won't happen to me. No one wakes up and says, I want to be a dope fiend junkie. No one wakes up and says, I want to sell my kids to some man so I can get some money. No woman wakes up and says, I want to sell my body so I can get my next fix. Nobody does that crap. It happens with the stupid mindset is I'll stop before it gets that bad. I am better than that. We're all egotistical. Each and every one of us think that we are better than the next man, that I'm smarter, I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm more educated, I'm something more than you. Just because you feel like that, I'm better than that. And it gets us caught up every frickin' time. I'm a very smart individual, but I spent a lot of my life in jail because of thinking that I was smarter and that I was better. And by the grace of God, for me, drug court, the place that now I work for, saved my life. They gave me the tools that I needed to identify and to work on a lot of my traumas, a lot of my behaviors, because I just thought I was a young kid having fun. I thought every young kid was supposed to get drunk, get high, and run from the cops and not try to get caught. I thought that was just a part of a ritual life. But you ask some people in here, they're like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Why would you think that's a part of life? But to some of y'all, you're like, yeah, I understand that. Getting drunk and getting high is a part of life. Why not? I have fun. It's an escape from this crap whole world sometimes. Sometimes I was just enjoying it. I'm not even running from nothing, dude. I'm just enjoying it. And that's what I thought. And my biggest cry to anybody is really, what is really going on? Because I guarantee each and every one of us have something more going on that we're not talking about, that we may not even know that's going on. May not even know that's really going on. I think my biggest message, man, is to think twice. It's not to do drugs. Because I know most of y'all have already experimented, or one of your friends are experimenting. And the catch is, nothing bad happens a lot of times. But that's just the trap. No one wakes up off of one hit and is like, yep, I'm a junkie. You keep having fun, you keep doing it, and before you know it, you start going through withdrawals. And you guys know what withdrawals are? What's a withdrawal?
Whenever you stop having something that affects your body physically.
And can you, if you could, like tell me a couple symptoms of the physical?
Being drowsy, no energy.
Absolutely. Pooping on yourself, man. Peeing on yourself. You can't control I'm serious, you can't control it. You cannot control it, man. You're feeling like death. You just want to die. And the whole crazy part is the whole reason I feel like this is because of the drugs. My body is physically, chemically dependent on this drug that says, I need more. I want more, and I'll do anything I can. If you don't want to give it to me, here's the symptoms. You start pooping, peeing, throwing. You know the one thing that makes it go away almost immediately is a little bit more drugs. Just a little bit more drugs. And that's the crazy thing we tell ourselves. I'll just do a little bit more today, and tomorrow I'll get back on track, and I'll stop doing it. I just don't want to feel like this. Can you imagine pooping, peeing, throwing up on yourself, not being able to sleep? You can't sleep it off. Only thing you can do is think about the drugs. The only thing you don't want to do is the drugs because you know it's ruining your life. And the only thing you keep saying is just one more time. One more time. And you could go through that for 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days of freaking hell. So if you have a family member, you have a loved one who's caught up in this crap, you want to know why they can't stop? Because that's the physical part. Physical part's hard. The mental part's even harder. Now not to even think about it. Take away all your cell phones, every last one of your cell phones, and tell you not to touch your cell phone. Don't think about your social media. Don't think about anything that has to do with any type of technology whatsoever. Social media, the game consoles, none of that stuff. Don't do it. Don't even think about it. It's pretty hard. Promise you, you say, maybe you're saying that would be easy, but I would challenge you to try it. Because I say it's killing you. And here's the mental twist, is after a while you think you can handle it again. This time I'll be smarter. This time I'll only do a little bit. This time I'll manage the time that I'm spending on my phone. This time I'll manage the amount. Instead of snorting it, I'll just pop it. Instead of IVing it, I'll just snort it. We're constantly trying to rationalize in our mind that I want to be in control. I want to be in control of my feelings. I want to be in control because I'm a man. I'm an adult. I can do what I want. And that's always a trap for me. Always been a trap. I've been clean on September 27th of this month. I have 12 years of not putting a drink or a drug of any sort besides maybe ibuprofen and stuff like that. I have not put any type of narcotic in my body. I have not gone out of my way. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do none of that crap. Because I know where it can lead me. And so if you know somebody who's going through this stuff, it is real. It's more than just a choice. That is the biggest rumor going around, is you chose to do this. And maybe they chose the first couple one. But eventually it became more than anybody ever thought they would be. It's so much more. And so if you know somebody who's involved in the criminal justice system and they have some type of drug problem, ask them. Ask them about drug court. Have you guys ever heard of drug court before? Yeah? What have you heard about drug court? I want to hear the negatives.
You know Josh Proctor?
I do. I do know him. He just graduated.
Yeah, he goes to my church and he talks a lot about it. So I don't know a lot about it. I just know you have to go through phases.
Yeah.
It's it takes a while to get out of it. So I don't know too much about it. I just know what it is.
It's a 2-year program at minimum. If you get in a lot of trouble, it can extend.
Yeah.
You got to take 2 drug tests minimum a week at random. You got to call Monday through Sunday, calling every day to see if you have the drug test. It's at random. And if you have the drug test, you have to get down there. You have to have somebody visually watch you use the restroom. I'm talking closer than I am to you right now. Someone's up in your grill watching you take a pee. If you're a woman, the same thing. And they have mirrors here, here, and dudes here. They're seeing everything. And for some of us, that's uncomfortable. And it's like, what? You don't get no privacy. And you're doing that twice a week for 2 years at minimum. Then you have to go to therapy at least once a week. Then you're going to group therapy at least once a week. And then you're meeting with the judge at least once a week. Then you're meeting with your individual case manager at least once a week. And then you have to go to 3 AA or NA meetings a week. And then you have to work a full-time job. And then you have to try to be normal. And that's if you're not in a halfway house. That's if you're not homeless. That's if you haven't burnt a lot of bridges. It is. It's very intense. A lot of people say drug court's a 99% failure rate. Drug court is a 100% failure rate if you don't want to change. If you don't want anything to do and all you want to do is get out of jail and try to cheat the system, you're going to fail. But if you have a little bit of a desire to say, you know what, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do, but I'm willing to try, I want to give it a 100% success rate. If you have the effort and the willingness to put in, to just try something different, but that's the hard part, because you have someone else telling you how to live. Telling you when to do stuff, when not to do stuff. You have a curfew. You have to be in home at a certain time. You have cops sometimes coming to do a random curfew check, a random home visit. You have a lot of stipulations. Drug court is very hard because you're busy. You're being told when to do, how to do it, and the times to do it. And it is extremely, extremely busy. But if you want to change, man, they give you all the tools in the world to make it happen. And they don't just give you the tools, they'll show you how to use the tools. And to me, that was one of the biggest blessings. Rather than somebody just tell me what to do, they're showing me how to do it. Rather than having somebody just be a boss, they were giving you leadership through someone else. And to me, that's what I try to do today, man. I'm not perfect by any means. I still struggle with different things in my life. But I just try to help somebody today. You know, it's like being a big brother. Any of you guys have little siblings, younger siblings? All right, and so it's trying to help them not fall down the same stupid path that you went. Things that you know that are going to get you in trouble, you try to, hopefully, a good big brother, good big sister, you try to keep them away from doing that stuff. And for me, that's what I do in my life. It's very rewarding. You know, do you guys have any questions? When I say questions, I mean literally any questions. You can ask me about the jail. You can ask me about the program. You can ask me about my personal life. I really am. I answer anything. And besides, what's the best drug? So.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So, as you mentioned, like, for those to be successful in treatment, they have to want it. So what was, like, the turning point for you when you were like, I have to?
Really, there's two. So the first turning point for me that made me say I'm going to quit trying to be sneaky and fight it my way, they sent me to a homeless shelter in Louisville, Wayside Christian Mission. I was there for almost 11 months. And you want to talk about humility. I always thought I was better than people. I didn't think I had a drug problem. I didn't think alcohol and marijuana and pills, if they were prescribed from doctor, I didn't think they were drugs. And I thought the cops just had a problem with me doing what I wanted. And so living with homeless people, sleeping next to homeless people that I thought I was better than, you know, seeing them outside. Some of them were they had a lot of mental things going on. And sleeping next to these guys on the floor, just getting to know them and to see how much of their story was similar to mine. The only difference is I had a mom and a dad who didn't give up on me. And their mom and dad kicked them out a long time ago. That was the only difference. It so humbled me. It really humbled me. So that was a really good turning point for me to stop trying to fight. People were helping me. Before I graduated, my son, he was born, and his mom was in active addiction still, and I got full custody of a month-and-a-half-old kid, and I had no idea how to be a dad. And so I don't know, that really changed my life. So when you have something more to live for, it's a lot harder to die. So, anyone else? Go ahead.
So you said that they have to take like drug tests. What happens if they fail drug tests?
Good question, actually. Really good question. So it depends. It really depends on what they failed for. So if they failed, we'll say it's for like heroin or some type of opiates, something that could potentially have fentanyl in it. We usually try to act immediately. If we cannot get them an immediate bed at a 28-day detox facility, we'll put them in jail until we can get them a bed for their own safety. Because 9 times out of 10, someone's not just using one time. If they have a positive screen, they're using. So for us to keep them safe from having an overdose, we have them either go to jail or directly to a 28-day treatment.